What time?
Straight from there, the football game starts at 6.
Oh, okay.
And canvassing should take 10 minutes max.
That'll work. Both games are at 6?
Glad we didn't have to drive to El Paso.
We've had to in the past.
I'm glad they're driving.
And they turn around and come right back.
That's a beating.
Oh, man. Angie going hiding? Is Angie putting on her riot suit? Angie? I'm watching you slide it off my chair. I was trying to make sure you didn't slide it off and I'm sliding off of mine. Oh, okay.
That's true. I understand that for sure.
Cindy, that's what's in that envelope.
Oh, I've already RSVP'd to that. Oh, you know what? This is mine. Evans came in the mail about 2 weeks ago. And I RSVP'd for
Someone had just asked me when we had it. I said, when do we usually have it? Right before Christmas. I said, it's right before Christmas. I said, I haven't heard a word.
I hadn't,
I'll see him. It's John, Cowboy John.
yeah.
We go to the same church.
The board will now reconvene in open session, and the time is 6:37 p.m. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. At this time, we would respectfully ask you to turn off the sound of your cell phones. May I remind anyone wishing to address the board that they must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic which they wish to speak. As your Board of Trustees, we're here to set goals for the district, listen to reports presented by the superintendent and his designees, and approve and review the budget. We approve certain personnel appointments and contracts and make policy for the district. Management is responsibility of the superintendent. It's the board's responsibility to govern the affairs of the district and ensure that the district is moving in the direction of our vision and goals that we have set on an annual basis. Meeting times for board meetings are posted on the AISD website, AbileneISD.org. The public is invited to attend. Now, I'd like to ask Dr. Joe Waldron to please come to the podium and lead us in our invocation and pledges.
Thank you, Ms. President. Will you all pray with me, please? God, thank you so much for the fall weather, for the opportunity to serve in this school district. Thank you for the members of our school board who serve 14,500 kids, God. Thank you for their service. Thank you for the decisions that will be made tonight. God, you have a plan for our school district, and we're up for it. Thank you for all that's happened and all that's going to happen this school year. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen. Let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas pledge, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
you, Dr. Waldron. We'll now move on to item 3C, Board Superintendent Announcements. Dr. King.
I have quite a few calendar type announcements. First of all, just to let you know, 6 p.m. Thursday and Friday, we have home playoff football games. I believe Cooper is on Thursday night, Abilene High is on Friday night. I may have that backwards. We also have on Tuesday, tomorrow afternoon at 5:30, we have our second PBL exhibition at MAN. That is performance-based learning. The P does not stand for performance, but I can't think of what it does stand for. Project-based learning. Thank you very much. We have our second project-based learning exhibition at MAN STEAM Academy. If you weren't able to make it to the last one, if you can get out there tomorrow, it's pretty impressive to see what those kids have done as their projects. Also, just to let you know, a group of administrators will be going to Lubbock later this week for our SGS Learning Lab to see some of the innovative things happening in Lubbock ISD. Quick reminder, Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. before the playoff game, we will have a meeting to canvass the recent election. Also, this is exciting, on Tuesday, tomorrow at 11 a.m., myself along with Superintendent of Wiley ISD, we will be meeting with some representatives from Northrop Grumman, as well as representatives from the Chamber of Commerce for a grant receiving ceremony. We're receiving a $75,000 grant from Northrop Grumman to support STEM education in both Abilene and Wiley ISDs, so that's pretty exciting. Also, on Tuesday, tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, there is a Veterans Day Parade at Dias Elementary. That's our annual Veterans Day Parade. Very impressive if you've never seen it. And then at 11 on Tuesday, 11/11 at 11, that is the Veterans Day flag ceremony at Cooper High School that involves our JROTC and some local veterans. So I hope you can make your way to some of those things. One last thing, this isn't this week, this is next week, but on the 17th of November, we have something coming up at Texas Tech University Health Science Center called Campus Takeover. Cooper High School is going to be sending busloads of kids to the Health Science Center of Texas Tech University to discover what all they have to offer our kids. So Campus Takeover, it is a day just for Cooper High School to invade Texas Tech University Health Science Center. So hope you can make your way to some of these events. Lots going on right now.
Thank you. And before we move on to our teaching minute, I would like to take this time to express from the board that we appreciate the effort and the time, the commitment, the energy put forth by Dr. Kuhn and his cabinet members to pass the VADER for our district. The voter-approved tax rate election was a success, and because of that, our district will be experiencing yearly funds coming in each year from the state that we would not otherwise have access to. So thank you for that. I would like to just, as a board, give us a chance to give you a hand, and thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to make sure you understand it was a team effort for sure.
I do agree. Everywhere you saw Dr. Kuhn, there was Dr. Zemer and his team, and the communications teams and their efforts, and Ms. Hines, Jennifer Hines, and her team and her efforts and expertise there, ready to offer support. So we do appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts as a board. Now, enjoy correctly the teaching minute.
Hi, I'm Amanda Martin, and I teach second grade at Bonham Elementary. So our objective in our lesson day had to do with Bluebonnet Foundational Skills, and it's Unit 3. And 16, and so our lesson had two parts today in elementary. So our objective in our lesson day had to do with Bluebonnet Foundational Skills, and it's Unit 3, Lesson 16, and so our lesson had two parts today. The first part was focusing on the three different ways you can make the long U sound. You can use the double vowel UE, we can talk about the magic E or the silent E, and then the open syllable. All right, let's do the next one. Everyone say cube. And then the second part of our lesson was using our decodable readers to partner read. As they're reading the decodable with their partners, they're working on their fluency and accuracy and comprehension. And then afterwards, we played a fun engagement game, Four Corners, to go over the story to end our lesson. Oh, y'all were so close, but tie means that our main two TEKs that we were focusing on today in class were TEKs 2.2b, and then we also focused on the TEK 2.6g. When they partner read, this gives the students an opportunity not just to hear Mrs. Martin reading, but hear other students reading. They learn from each other. Not only does it help their expression, their accuracy, and their fluency, it also helps their comprehension. Reading is my passion. I love teaching reading, and so with our new Bluebonnet curriculum, with the daily routines it has in place for students, it has a chance for the kids to go back and review, where they're making a lot of connections, they're staying engaged. The kids are excited to be here and excited to learn, and that in turn makes me excited to be here and teach my kids reading every day.
Thank you, Ms. Martin and her class at Bonham, showing us equipped learners and brighter futures by actively engaged students in the classroom. We saw that, and it's one of our priorities, as well our collaboration in the classroom. So we thank her for exhibiting all of that in one teaching minute. So thank you so much. Okay, let's have recognitions. We have which is item 4A. First coming up is Miss Patty Blue. She is our Associate Superintendent for Curriculum. Will be sharing with us National Merit Commended Students, which is always very exciting to me.
Yes, it is. Good evening. Tonight, we are proud to recognize 3 National Merit Commended Scholars with you. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation highlights approximately 34,000 commended students from across the country each year for their exceptional academic promise. While these students do not continue in the National Merit Scholarship process, they are recognized by placing in the top 3% of U.S. high school students who enter the competition by taking the preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. These students receive a National Merit Letter of Commendation from their school. Students, when I call your name, would you and your principal please join me at the front? From Adams, we are proud to recognize Maddie Strawn. Brandon Randall, Director of Adams, is also here with her. Maddie is highly gifted in all aspects of design, to the point that she often assists her teachers with the troubleshooting to design software and technology. She is a leader in the classroom and is now interested in a career in voice acting. Maddie is considering ACU for a college choice. Congratulations, Maddie.
Thanks for being here tonight, Maddie. Congratulations.
Okay. Let's see. Brandon, can I get you to just take the step that way? Actually, I'm sorry. Can you two actually come together, and then I'll get Miss Wiley to take a step to the right. Y'all can come a little closer. There we go. Thank you. That's perfect. Okay, we'll take a couple different pictures. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, bear with me one more for good measure. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Don't go too far because we're going to take some more pictures in a minute, okay? From Cooper High School, we are proud to recognize Kenneth Heck and Santi Vinson. They're joined by John Patrick, Cooper High School principal. Kenneth is a member of the National Honor Society and a 4-year member of the gymnastics team and the awesome Cooper Band, where he earned all-region honors on trombone 3 times. He plans to attend Texas A&M University, knew it was coming, where he will study criminology. Congratulations, Kenneth. And then Santi. Santi is also a member of the National Honor Society, Super Crew, and a 3-year member of Cooper Student Council. An accomplished artist in the National Art Honor Society, Santi is choosing between Harvard, MIT, and the University of Texas for college, where she plans to study astrophysics and engineering. Congratulations, Santi. Congratulations to all 3 of you on this outstanding achievement. We are thankful for how well you represent our schools in Abilene ISD, and we are all rooting for you as your continued success after graduation. So it's picture time. Maddie, come on back up, and we'll make sure we get you in with all of them.
And we'll get a picture of the Cooper students first and then a group picture. Lots of pictures tonight. Okay, let's see. Mr. Patrick, could you scooch over just a little bit more? And then, yes, Miss Wiley. Much better. And then Dr. Kuhn, can I get you to step this way? And Mr. Enriquez, there we go. Looking for our windows here. Perfect. Okay. Okay, one more camera. There we go. And then Mr. Randall, if you'd like to come back up. There we go. That's all right. You can be on this left side over here. And then can we get you all to take a couple steps to the right? There we go. Miss Earls, could I get you to take one step? There we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Patty's going to just stay right up there and introduce to us some AP Capstone Awards.
Yes, ma'am. It is an exciting night for me. We are proud to highlight our AP Capstone program at Abilene High School for you this evening. AP Capstone is a prestigious diploma program based on 2-year-long AP courses, AP Seminar and AP Research. These courses are designed to complement other AP courses that the AP Capstone student may take. Instead of teaching specific subject knowledge, AP Seminar and AP Research use an interdisciplinary approach to develop the critical thinking, research, collaboration, time management, and presentation skills students need for college-level work. College Board developed the AP Capstone Diploma program at the request of higher education professionals who saw a need for a systemic way for high school students to begin mastering these skills before college. Joining us this evening is Mr. James McGee, our AP Capstone instructor from Abilene High School, and some of our AP Capstone students. Mr. McGee, please join us at the podium with your students and tell us more about the AP Capstone.
Welcome. Thank you, Mr. McGee.
Yes. Well, one of the unique things about AP Research is that it replicates all the steps of a college master's thesis. So it's quite advanced indeed. We had several students last year who won the diploma, the College Board diploma. And in order to do that, you have to take and pass AP Seminar, take and pass AP Research, which is difficult enough, but then also 4 other AP classes. And so we had several students, Keely Aston, Brenna Barbarick, Reese Cope, Anna Ferguson, Stephen Griffith, Garrison Scoggin, Daniel Shelbourne, Myra Thomas, Gabriella Trujillo, and Skylar Young. So they are some of our outstanding students, and now, of course, they're all in college now, doing well. And this year's researchers are Ethan Barriga, Alyssa Bridge, Emily Brumley, Anson Covarrubias, Vivian Dyer, Alice Ann Riley, Layla Robinson, and Lily Vega. And this is Anson. I brought him up here with me. We're all very proud of him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. You're representing me.
By the way, last year's motto was "Sleep is for the weak."
Oh,
I think that's fitting.
perfect. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Just a couple more. Thank you.
You're so tall, you can stand anywhere.
Mr. Clay Johnson, Executive Director for Fine Arts. Are you next? No? I'm sorry. Little schedule change here. Sloan Brady. Welcome. Texas ETA Awards of Distinction, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, yes. I'll wait for my. Okay. Wanted to make sure I had my clicker ready. All right. I'm Brady Sloan Duncan, the Fine Arts Coordinator for the district, and I'm here to share some exciting news from the world of fine arts. The Texas Educational Theater Association has an awards program that recognizes individual school districts and campuses who make outstanding contributions to raising the standards for theater education in the school, district, and beyond. The awards program uses a rubric to score nominees, awarding one of 4 designations based on total points earned. Scoring criteria includes access to district-provided theater-specific curriculum, facilities availability, technology, number of performances, courses offered, and more. I knew right away that our district would shine while gaining an understanding of statewide best practices. At the TXETA Fall Conference a few weeks ago, Abilene ISD was officially awarded the recognition as an outstanding district in theater education for the 2nd year in a row. And this is the 2nd highest honor that we can achieve. Here we are receiving the award at the conference. But I'm also here because I'd like to share 2 additional honors received at this conference. Kimberly Lewis, I'm going to see where you are, Director of Theater at Cooper High School, submitted for her campus, resulting in Cooper High School being designated as an outstanding campus for theater education. We are so proud of Kimberly and what she brings to Cooper. She is organized, a planner, and keeps all of her students actively engaged. She's constantly observing performances, productions, costuming, and plays that will best benefit her students. She thoughtfully applies what she discovers, and her staging, if paused at any moment, reveals a strong sense of visual composition. She is passionate about stories and storytelling, and it shows. Thank you, Kimberly, and congratulations. And so here we have Cooper's Award of Distinction, and we also managed to get a photo of her receiving the award. Amber Barber, Director of Theater at Craig Middle School, also submitted for her campus, resulting in Craig Middle School being designated as an exemplary campus for theater education, which is the highest level that can be achieved. She is vivacious, engaging, a strong advocate for her program, and is always thinking of the next production and connecting it to the community. Oh, and P.S., Craig doesn't have an auditorium. It doesn't have a cafetorium. However, her production crews, lighting and sound, have won Best Tech 2 out of the last 3 years at our One Act Play Festival. She is resilient and will let nothing hold her back. As a middle school director, she sees our theater students first and sets the stage for what theater education can be. Thank you and congratulations. Here's her, and I just have a closing thought. Our directors are among the top thespians in our area. They introduce students in our community to the extraordinary world of theater and offer numerous productions throughout the year, providing opportunities for students to participate both on stage and behind the scenes. They hold degrees in theater and theater education, have a wealth of experience in all aspects of theater, from acting and directing to scenic design and technical theater. And they utilize facilities that rival or exceed surrounding theaters in our area. And that is why we love TXETA so much. This conference allows them to find districts that are similar to ours or larger so that they can gain knowledge from people who deal with the same issues that we deal with, like 150 to 180 students a day. Working with theater directors in our district is an absolute joy. While we may know that our theater program is outstanding, we are thrilled the state of Texas now knows that Abilene ISD is an outstanding district in theater arts and that Cooper and Craig are perfect examples of that with their designations as well. Thank you.
Yes, so now you can do this picture. Okay, perfect. And one more. Thank you.
I'll get my favorite pen.
Dr. Jordan Zemer, Executive Director of Communications, joining us now to help us recognize our employee awards.
Well, it's a great day to be in Abilene ISD, Madam President, Dr. Kuhn, and board members, and I'm really excited. I get another opportunity to help recognize some outstanding team members before you tonight, and I'm always proud and honored to get to do that. So this is the first round of recipients of our new Employee Awards program for this school year, so it's a special group. As you know, when we relaunched this program, reimagined it earlier this year, our goal was to create more opportunities to celebrate more of our team members, and specifically to do so by recognizing the way they exemplify our strategic priorities. I think we've seen students do that tonight. Now we get a chance to see our team members do that tonight because our district is trying to live to those standards, and you can see them there on the right side of your screen. Also want to always say thank you to our partners for this award. That's First Financial Bank. They remain faithful to Abilene ISD in their support of our teachers, students, and staff. They always join us on our awards tour when we do our little prize parade, and they always hand out cool things. And they had like a car scent thing. And they smelled amazing. So anyway, it was a pretty cool gift. But they gave away lots of really cool things to our teachers. But more than that, they just love Abilene ISD, and that's why they're here with us. So thank you to our friends at First Financial Bank. Okay, so at this time, if you were an Employee Award winner and you're in the audience, I know you're sprinkled throughout. If you'll come on up, don't be shy, and join me up here. I'll just have you stand right here. I see some of you. Come on, come join me. Don't be scared. Come join me right here. I'm gonna identify you anyway, so you might as well stand up, right? If you'll just join me right here in line, welcome. Good to see everybody. Hi there. Hi there. If you'll join me in giving these folks a round of applause. So I'm going to tell you about each one of them really quickly. So first in our auxiliary category, Miss Melissa Pine, who's our lead custodian at Taylor Elementary School. If you'll give her a big round of applause. Giving this award was so fun because we were all huddled up in the makerspace at Taylor. You can see in that photo right there. And I don't think she had any idea what she was walking into and was totally surprised by all those kids in there celebrating her. So she does an outstanding job. As a Taylor parent, I'm so thankful for Miss Pine, so great job. Next, Miss Susan Blagrave in student support, our diagnostic speech pathologist, a legend in Abilene ISD. If you'll give her a round of applause. Everybody was so excited to get to celebrate Miss Blagrave. Sharon Hendricks, a substitute at Dias Elementary, is here. Thank you so much for your service to Abilene ISD. Her nomination was like, we could not have school at Dias without Miss Hendricks. So we are so excited to get to recognize you tonight. Miss Eileen Bunting, a paraprofessional at Cooper High School. Here she is. Congratulations. And same kind of thing, they were like, since she joined the team at Cooper, she is the MVP of that front office over there, so thank you for being here. We're so proud of you. In our new teacher category, one of our very favorite things to celebrate is our new teachers, Miss Samantha Lozano at Abilene High School. Congratulations, thank you for being here. And then finally, in our teacher category, Miss Pearl Gonzalez right here from Clack Middle School. And her students in that band are so well trained that when we gave her award, they started playing sound effects in the background. I don't know if you remember that, but it made her really proud, right? Yeah. It made her so proud. Okay, well anyway, this is our round of employee award winners. Thank you again for giving us a chance to say thank you to them for their work. One more round of applause.
Great position. 1, 2, 3. And then one more. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, all. Thank you.
We'll now move on to item 5, oral communication from the public. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. Anyone wishing to address the board must have completed a public comment card before the start of the portion of tonight's meeting, indicating that a topic or the agenda of which they would wish to speak. Okay. Wait, oh, okay, I thought I miscounted. Yeah, I found it. It's right here. I did not miscount. Okay. Oral communication from the public is governed by AISD BED local policy. Under the Texas Open Meeting Act, the board is not permitted to discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on the agenda for the meeting. A speaker will be given up to 5 minutes to address the board. If, however, the total number of speakers seeking to address the board at a meeting exceeds 5, the per speaker time limit may be reduced. In no event will a speaker be given less than 1 minute to address the board. Tonight we have 6 speakers. We will give each speaker, so we will be adjusting the time limit to 4 minutes apiece. Dr. Kuhn will monitor the time and make the speaker aware when the time is up. Dr. Kuhn, you want to take a minute and explain to people who may not be familiar?
Yes, there is a monitor on the podium, and it will start out with the time of 4 minutes, and it'll be green. When it gets down to 60 seconds left, it will turn yellow. When it gets down to 30 seconds, it will turn red, and then when it gets to 0, your time is up.
Okay, great. We have, happy to have with us tonight Tammy Fogel.
Good evening, Dr. Kuhn, Ms. Wiley, and the board. Thank you for allowing me this time. It's been an exciting night, and I hate to change the topic a little bit, but as one who's been trying to make sure our libraries are safe for our kids, we're still waiting on knowing who, I found out who was on the Slack by searching the website, but it wasn't publicly announced, and there's not been a timeline of when that's going to happen. And I know we have some things that we be in the pikes, but as I continue to wait for the books I've challenged to be addressed, I'm still finding more. And so one that I'm not going to read from tonight is called A Clockwork Orange, and it was such a bad book that they had to remove quite a bit of it in order to make it a rated R movie. So this is in Abilene High, and it's a book that our students have access to. And it's important to note that SB 13 was passed in such a way so that any book that has been challenged should be removed not only from the shelf, but also from the catalog. And so I know I'm still learning the law, and that hasn't been taken care of yet. So it's something that we're both going to navigate through together. What I'm going to address is a book in Abilene High called Like a Love Story. It is a book that contains sexual activities, alternate sexualities, and profanity. And so bear with me. This says, "Hey ladies, with an attitude, don't just sit around, let's get to it. Art looks up to them with defiance. I wish I had it in me. Yeah, you fella in a mood. He asked lavishly because I got some whips and chains in my backpack I'd love to try on you." Another section, "This is the only but that matters in the relationship, the other butts. Okay?" I laugh. I grab his ass stiffly, trying to be coolly seductive as he's feeling awkward and foolish instead. "Except for the butt. This butt," I said. I melt in his arms. I want him bad. I want him to ravish me. I want to put his hands down my pants, feel the smoothness of his skin and his palms. Our tongues explore each other, then his hands are all over me, up the shiny fabric of the dress. His breath is heavy, his hips are thrusting urgently. I feel what I've never felt when Riza and I kiss an erection. Saadi said it's so hard. He sits up. He pulls me into a kiss. I explore with his mouth, my tongue, feel every crevice of his body with my hands, the coarseness of his skin, his fuzz of his hair. "Take off my dress," I say. He yanks the back of my dress. He looks at me, taking my body in. I guide him on top of me, feel his hardness. He wants to have sex, but I tell him I'm not ready. The first time I read porn, I was 12. I found it in my dad's stash of Penthouse and Playboy magazines in the back of his closet. Playboy was pretty much useless to me, but Penthouse, these were the sex stories in them. They were hot because there were men in them. I find myself getting hard, and he moves my hand to my crotch, just covering up the evidence. Maybe you could read some of those stories to me. You can't get AIDS from story time. He squeezes my erection. He's hard, and I am too. He turns me over on my back, positioning himself on top of me, so this hardness rubs up against mine. He whispers my name into my ear, and I whisper his names until it sounds more like a moan than anything else. He thrusts faster and faster until my name becomes more than a scream. Guess I won't be needing these pants tonight. I notice the gooey stain on the black of his jeans, the wetness on my worn blue jeans. I turn to take a shower, take my clothes off, and get inside. As soon as I touch myself, I imagine Art thrusting on top of me, screaming my name. I close my eyes and let hot water wash all over the evidence of my passion away. So I don't read these because it brings me any joy, and I've told you all that, and I don't think it brings you joy, but these are in the library, and you actually have the authority to take them off the books. You can take them off the shelves tonight. So because you're waiting for the slack until we get a date, I'll keep finding books, and we've got other people who are ready to challenge these books because these are not appropriate. As SB 13 says, sexually explicit books do not belong in the public schools. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say thank you too for bringing this to our attention. We've been down this road already with this type of a comment, and I think we've kind of get the purpose. We understand that fully. I do want to say that before you speak at public comment, I would like to ask that you have attempted, and I know you have, you would say that you have attempted to address the matter administratively, which I know what you would say that you have, but there are also, to attempt resolution through channels that are in place, which is our challenge system. So if these books that are being presented to us tonight have not been challenged, I would like to ask, has it been challenged, your books that you were addressing to us tonight?
No.
Okay, so that, had that been happen, they would be taken off the shelves. And we're going through the semantics of whether or not it's off the catalog or not. Those are things that will be addressed when we gain the guidelines, according to what you just shared.
Well, so partially, the challenge process removes them from the shelf and the catalog.
Okay.
And they're not. They're still available on the catalog.
That seems like a very easy thing to change by addressing administratively with Ms. Lindsay. If it's something that can be fixed like that, that's where you should be starting. Just as with any public comment. And I'm not going to say this on every comment tonight, but it is requested that you have addressed all the channels before you reach here. And this type of comment has been had already, and we've been here before. So if it's going to be a repeat, I just kind of want to know. I kind of want to be prepared.
To my knowledge, the challenge process is only because I'm challenging, not because y'all are removing the bad books. So y'all can remove these books. They're very sexually explicit.
Agreed.
So you can do it tonight. You can do it tomorrow. You can take them off the shelf, and then they'll be done, and then we can deal with what we really need. So I'm just saying, the challenge process is not the only, it's this last recourse, not the first recourse.
All right, we're going to move on to the next speaker at this time.
We have with us Bonnie Wallace. Thank you for coming today from Llano, Texas, I'm looking at.
Yes.
Nice to have you.
I have copies for each.
He would have to give it to our council. Thank you.
Wait, but they're supposed to have them when I'm reading.
That's okay. Go ahead and read. I'll make sure they get it.
That means they're going in the trash.
Not at all.
I'm Bonnie Wallace. I appreciate the opportunity to address you tonight. I'm here about SB 13. I helped write that bill. SB 13 requires that any book with QR codes or websites that are in your libraries be removed immediately. And I'm here to read you one that I have. I wish he would pass it around. I would have done it myself if I would have known it was going to get delayed. This book contains activism, excessive, alternate gender, sexual ideologies, DEI, CRT, dysphoria, transgender, nudity, profanity, sexual content, and website references for the following: BDSM, cannibalism, it shows recommendations, erotica, fetishes, kinks, patently offensive content, porn, prurient content, sadomasochism, article recommendations, sex toys, sex trafficking, prostitution, article recommendations again, gentlemen, and the Trevor Project. It's called, by the way, here we are, Feminism for the Real World. So I hope you pay attention if you ever get it. If you don't, go look it up in your library. It's quite interesting. Page 25. Sometimes, a lot of the time, honestly, I totally fake it because it's easier. I am a fan of orgasms, but they take time, and in many instances, I don't have that much time to spend. All too often, I don't really like the guy enough to explain. Page 89, as culture shifts and racial tensions are tested through the vehicle of Black Lives Matter, it is important to question, do female Black Lives matter too? And then there's a transcript taken from a previously published video by Amanda Stenberg, which can be viewed at instagram.com/Amanda Astenberg, or whatever her name is. Another website. This is illegal. This is no longer, this is prohibited now. It's no longer, it's supposed to be on your shelves. It needs to be removed. Wait a minute, I've heard about fanfic, okay? It's something called fan fiction. Isn't it dirty? No and yes, both no and yes. And that's what makes fan fiction so great. So you might have heard about fan fiction in terms of something called slash, which people sometimes talk about while giggling behind their hands. Slash is definitely a big part of many fandoms and refers to creating stories that discuss the sexual relationships between two characters, usually of the same sex. Fans call the novel or show or film, they're encouraging kids to make these. They call them the canon. Fandom originated ideas that everyone agrees with are fanon, and ideas about the characters that are true only to you are called your head canon. So fanfic is about changing the canon to align with your head canon and hoping that the community likes it so much it becomes fanon. Get it? Slash is a pretty widespread phenomenon in fandom. You're encouraging your students to seek this out. Page 165, at this moment in your life, you've French kissed 3 boys and you've touched 1 penis. Page 165, in a few months you're going to lose your virginity. You will date a boy who's a sophomore. There is no courtship to your relationship, no wooing. His friends date your friends, and the convenience and that social proximity win out over your feeling kind of about him. You'll have a choice to make. His mom will be out running errands, and he will wonder if you want to have sex with him. Hey, do you maybe want to have sex? The choice will greatly influence how you view romance, love, and your feelings about genuine emotion for the rest of your adolescence. My answer was something like, yeah, sure, whatever. I knew I wasn't in love with him, not even close. Page 190, relationships don't always look like mine, and they shouldn't, that's the point. For some people, the best relationship is one where they are only individual in it, where it is solely about what they need or want without having to worry about others. For others, it's a relationship that is not one-on-one, but allows for multiple partners and commitments. I remember, page 198, I remember when everything changed for me. Somebody at my college was doing a survey and asked if I'd had an orgasm. I turned beet red. No, of course not. But my interviewer couldn't disguise her dismay. Never. She asked, never? I said. I made a mental note that probably seemed hilarious. Find out what the big deal about orgasms is. In the same year, a survey I saw the vagina monologues. To say the names of these things was a step toward liberation. Vagina, penis, orgasm, pubic hair. The last page that I hope you get, because I spent the time to make it for you, talks about the websites, and they're all here.
Your time is up.
BDSM,
Time is up.
Yeah, well, he talked towards part of mine. Y'all need to get it, because it's disgraceful. I've never had a school board reject it.
Absolutely. I'm sure, I appreciate you're putting that through the proper channels. It's been challenged and it's not on our shelves. So
This book has not been challenged. No, ma'am.
You don't think so?
This book has not been challenged.
Lindsay, has that book been challenged? The first
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. My misunderstanding.
Yeah,
I'm
this one
misunderstanding.
needs to be removed.
Well, we do have that in place, and we appreciate the combination.
So why do you not wanna look at it?
Your time is up.
We have processes.
Longer than you're supposed to. Sit down.
You have.
Your time is up.
Yes. Next person. Thank you for coming from Lano. Marta Hollowell. Thank you, Ms. Hollowell.
I'd just first like to say I was at the Veterans Lunch last Saturday. The ROTC there did a great job presenting the colors. I forgot which high school they were from, but they did a good job. The book I was going to talk about today is called Perfect by Ellen Hopkins. This book is in the Cooper Library. This book is also prohibited to Texas prisoner due to the graphic illegal sex acts in it. The part I was going to read today is about there's two individuals in the process of a sex act. It talks about Viagra, Percocet, Meridium. I'd never heard of this until I read this. This is the guy talking. My fingers, my tongue. This is her first time, so I want her to be ready, and I think she has to be. I don't want to hurt you, I tell her, ever. She is flushed, her skin hot summer sand. I'm crazy again, this time with the need to make this all real. I lift myself over her working forearms, biceps. She closes her eyes, moans, as I move into place right up against her sweet spot. Pause at the resistance. I need you, I say, before kissing her. Before going all the way with her. One push and we'll be joined in the most amazing way. Connected by love. Now, I have her now, but just as I test the barrier, everything screaming, yes, go, she opens her eyes, and out of her mouth comes a single word, no. I heard her wrong. I know I did. Even if I didn't, I know she means now, not no. So I go ahead and push, hard. Oh, her eyes pop wide and she screams, stop. I said no. Stop, goddammit. And her little fists try to pound against my chest, which only feels good and I can't stop, even if I wanted to. And so I won't. And she starts to cry and I don't understand, so I tell her over and over again, I love you. It makes me angry that books like this are even in the library in the first place. I assume this is art by students behind you. This picture over here really struck me. Like I said last time I was here, I am a teacher at Premier High School, and I've never seen as many kids with problems, mental health problems, as I have in the last 3 or 4 years ever in my 25 years of teaching. And I think this picture says it all. So I really hope that y'all will get on the ball and get rid of these books. They're not only in the high school, they're in the middle schools and the elementary schools. We haven't started on the middle and elementary schools yet. So I hope you will take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Denise Bellew. Welcome.
Thank you. May I ask what the timeline is when books are being challenged? What is the timeline for review?
I do not have that information. I would probably defer to Dr. Kuhn or Ms. Williamson.
Yeah, we'll be happy to meet with you and give you that information.
Yeah, as far as the slack being in place and all that.
I would think that would be pretty regimented. I would think that would be an easy answer.
It is a...
Okay. I'm a Christian, and I'd be willing to bet you that a lot of you are Christians in here as well. When I was watching Tammy read the first book, 7 of you didn't even make eye contact. That tells me that you're a little ashamed, and I hope and pray you are. Because I am a Christian, and I'm proud to be a Christian. I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. In Matthew 18:6, it says, "But whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a heavy millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea." You are responsible. These are children. A child doesn't their brain isn't fully developed until they become 25 years old. You are responsible. Research has suggested that exposure to pornography at a young age may be related to poor mental health, sexism, and objectification, increased sexual aggression, interpersonal relationship problems, and other negative outcomes. I'm reading from a book called The Haters. It is at Abilene High School, and the cover looks very innocent, A lot of these books do, until you get into the content. When broken down, the word dick is listed 77 times, fuck 196 times, shit 121 times, and I'm not going to say the GD word because I think that's the ultimate 6 times. And then there's the small words ass, bitch, cunt, piss, and pussy. Page 265, she guided me onto my back and pulled on the bottom of my briefs, and I pushed them over my knees and feet, and I was completely naked and not hard at all. She straddled me and pulled her top off, and her breasts flopped out, and I heard them more than saw them. She reached behind herself and kind of carefully took my not hard dick into one, and pretty soon I couldn't think about anything else, and pretty soon after that I was hard. She took her hand away, and I heard her opening some little crinkly package, and I felt her put the cool plasticky middle of the condom snugly on the front of my dick, like she was shrink wrapping it, and I felt her fingertips through the plastic, like the legs of a crab fingernailing their way down my dick, and she rose up a little and adjusted her panties and breathed harder and opened her mouth. Let's skip down here to page 271. No, come on, you're fucking with me. I wish I was. You got maybe 10 steps out of my room, and then you stopped and got right down in the middle of the floor and immediately started fucking. The first time there was about 30 seconds of foreplay. She put a condom on you, and it was pretty much over before it started. Skipping to 305. Corey, can we talk about oral sex technique? A little, I'm going to improve without your feedback, so please give it to me straight. You got to slow it down, and I mean way down. Really just simplify what you're doing in general and try to make circles with your tongue.
Time's up.
Disgraceful.
Thank you for your time. Tally Mullins?
My name is Tally Mullins, and I have 4 children in AISD at 4 different campuses, and I'm a graduate of Abilene High. My husband and I go to the open houses, we meet the teachers, we go to the concerts and family nights, and are very involved in our kids' education. We trust the administrators, teachers, and librarians to make good choices for our children and their education. So my question is this: why are you taking book challenges from people who are not AISD parents? If they don't want their kids to read books about real life, they don't like how you're running the schools, they don't like who you've hired, or whatever else their complaints are, fine. They have taken those steps by either not living here or homeschooling their children. Why do their opinions matter so much? I have read 21 of the 27 books that they challenged, and the last few that I didn't read were because I couldn't get to them. I didn't like some of the books, but I don't feel like that means that they should be banned. Queer people, immigrants, and people of color exist in our lives, our schools, and our homes, and they should be able to read books about themselves. Perhaps something needs to change in who can come complain and make statements about AISD administration, because it doesn't make sense to me why their complaints are being given so much weight. I recognize that as taxpayers, everyone has a right to voice concerns, but how many person hours should be tied up in addressing those concerns? And how is the validity of challenged books going to be assessed before a committee of people takes hours to read those books? I understand there's a committee of people, some of whom I know, who have volunteered to read and respond to challenges. Knowing that this is requiring 30 to 40 hours of reading per person, I question whether that kind of volunteer time is being misspent on challenges brought by people with no actual stakes in the district. SB 13 is supposed to make it easier for parents to know and review what is available in our libraries. This seems like the committee established by the board via SB 13 is instead spending time on challenges made by non-AISD parents. In the author's note for Speak by Laurie Halsey Anderson, she said 2 things that I think are important for these challenges. 1, why are you so afraid to talk to your children about hard topics? And 2, kids are turned off to reading by only reading books about middle-aged adults with no connection to their actual life. Keep our kids reading and engaged. Let them read about themselves. Thank you.
Eric Bings.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Kuhn, Ms. Wiley. My name is Eric Bings. I am a retired teacher from the AISD of 27 years. Was around a lot of kids. Spent a lot of my time in alternative classrooms. Spent a lot of time on the DAEP campus, working with kids who were difficult. And I think that there are some things that we have allowed in our culture that harm kids, whether we want to address those things openly or not. Understanding that things happen that may not be a kid's fault. They're strolling through the library and pick a book up, and all of a sudden there's things going on that they don't know anything about. And it's confusing, and it's disrupting mentally, emotionally. I was going to read from a book called The Freedom Rider's Diary. It's at Craig, and it's also at TDJC, Against the Law. I'm not going to do that because I think that that's been said. What I do want to ask is that the SLAC committee, that is accelerated as quickly as we can get to it. Because the sooner I believe that some of this stuff is off the library shelves, our kids will benefit from that. And I understand that there are folks out there who think that we're trying to ban a book. I'm not trying to ban a book. I'm just trying to take it out of a child's reach that has no business reading about that stuff. I've told this, I've stood here and said before, when I was a kid, the playground that we played on as children, we'd go out there every day and we'd play. Until one day we went out there and there was a claymore mine set there. And it was meant to blow people up. And all of a sudden that safe place that we had enjoyed being in became extremely dangerous. It was no fault of ours, it was just a fact. There's a claymore mine in the playground where we went every day. Could have left it there. Could have assumed that the military police were going to take care of business, that they wouldn't accidentally set it off. My dad went crazy. And he got it removed. He did the hard thing. He did the adult thing. And he said, my children are playing there. Take away the landmine. Because if you don't, somebody's going to get hurt. I think we have a responsibility as adults to do adult things, and sometimes that's really hard. And I appreciate the fact that the AISD has put together the SLAC. I think that's a great step. Can we speed it up? Can we get it going? Those folks who have committed their time to doing that, thank you. But let's go. One more child picking up one more book that doesn't need to be read by a child, that's one too many. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bings, I do want to clarify one thing. It seems like there may be a misunderstanding. When a book is challenged and is going to go to the SLAC, it's removed immediately. Yes. And so those books are not available if they've been challenged, and they won't be available until after the SLAC decides they need to go back on the shelf or come off. So that, just so everybody understands the process, when a book is challenged and is waiting to go to the SLAC, it is removed immediately and won't be replaced until after the SLAC meets. So, and as far as the timeline of the SLAC, they're reading 28 books right now, so it just takes time.
A book has to be read by a member of the SLAC to be dealt with. Yeah. Okay. So they had a lot.
Lindsay, did I answer that question correctly? Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know too. Thank you so much for the time given to be here with us tonight. We're now going to move on to item 6, consent agenda. It is everybody. Item 6, consent agenda. The AISD Board of Trustees meetings are preceded by in-depth board.
I want to add one more thing. Slack meeting dates are posted on the webpage, and public posting is also up in the display cabinet outside, and has been sent to campuses to post as well. The first meeting of the Slack is Monday, November 17th. It's been posted well in advance of the 72-hour posting requirement. I don't know when the Shack meeting is off the top of my head.
The AISD Board of Trustees meetings are preceded by in-depth board workshops which are held prior to regular meetings. The purpose of the workshop meeting of the board is to discuss items in preparation for potential consideration at future board meetings. Meeting times are posted on the AISD website at ABleneAISD.org. The public is invited to attend. Does a member have anything they would like to take off for the consent agenda? Do we have a motion regarding the items on the consent agenda this evening?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Rodney Goodman, do we have a second?
Second.
Taylor Tidmore. Take a roll call vote. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Blair Schrader absent. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. The vote passes 6-0. Okay. At this time, we're going to move on to item 7, reports, which is always a good time for us to share information with our community and us. Thank y'all for being here for that. Item 7A is academic performance report. Lindsay Williamson, Executive Director for Secondary Education, will be coming to us with an academic performance report. Thank you, Lindsay.
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. I am, thank you. Here to give you an update on our advanced placement program. If you're, most of you are familiar with our advanced placement program. It is our AP program, which at our high schools is what fulfills our GT and advanced academics requirement, and that falls under the College Board. It's a program, those classes offer college level classes at our high schools, and the way that students earn college credit is by taking an exam at the end of each of those classes. Those are scored on a 1 to 5 scale, and most colleges award college credit for a score of 3 or higher when a student takes those exams. All of those classes are built around the foundations of building critical thinking skills for our students, improving writing and problem solving, which we know are all part of preparing them for college. It also supports the district's vision for college and career readiness, and I think it's really important to note, especially as we go through some of these numbers this evening, that Abilene ISD is an open enrollment district for AP classes. So if students want to take the honors and AP classes and are willing to work hard, no matter their EOC scores or their past, if they struggle in certain areas, we allow them to take those classes and provide the support as much as possible as they go through those courses. If you don't like numbers, you're not going to be very interested in the presentation tonight. There's a lot of them, and I don't want to read them all to you, but I will give you a second on some of these slides to kind of look through them, especially the next few after this. But our AP program by the numbers, we have 22 courses that we almost always offer, and then there's some that, depending on student interest, will make some years and not make others. But 22 is about where we land on what we're able to offer our students at our 3 high schools. And just a little bit of a comparison of last year's numbers versus this year's. Last year we had 784 students enrolled in at least one AP course, and that's it combined between Abilene High, Cooper, and Adams. And this year we have 733 enrolled in at least one course. And the total AP course enrollment last year was 1,640, and this year we have students enrolled in 1,606 enrollments. So that includes students who are taking more than one AP course. AP World History is our highest AP course enrollment. That's the first AP course that our students are able to take as sophomores. So typically it's where they will kind of dip a toe in and try out one of those classes. That's the one they can try out to see if that's the route they want to go. They'll see if they're able to be successful in that class. So that is where we have our highest enrollment. And then this number was really encouraging to me, and I was a little surprised by it. We had last year's 2025 graduates, 26.1% of that graduating class scored a 3 or higher on an AP exam, at least one AP exam throughout high school. So whether it was when they were a sophomore or a junior, but we had over 25% of our graduating class.
And that's 25% of a bunch of kids.
Of a bunch
because
of
that's
kids.
that's
It
Cooper
is.
and Abilene High.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So that number, like I said, I was a little surprised by, but I think that speaks highly of our students, our teachers, and also the variety of AP courses that we offer as well. It really hits on different areas of student interest and maximizes what they do really well in. Kind of some trends. This says the past 5 to 6 year trends because I have the enrollment for this year, but you can kind of see there how many. This is students enrolled in at least one AP course from 2020 up to this school year, and then just a little line graph to kind of give you a visual on that. For the most part, those numbers they fluctuate, but they kind of stay in the same range for each campus. Then when we look at the individual results of each school, we're starting with Abilene High. This is the past 5-year results. Of course, this goes through the spring of 2025 testing. This gives us the total number of AP students who took an exam. So if you look back at this screen, this is enrollment that are enrolled in the course. And this one changes a little bit. These are the students who chose to take an exam. So they are a little bit different data points. It shows the number that took an exam, the number of exams that were taken at Abilene High, and then the number of students who scored a 3 or higher. And you can see if we go back 5 years, 2021 was the year we came back from COVID shutdown, and you can definitely see where our kids struggled whenever we came back from there, and then that we've trended for the most part upward since then. Same information for Adams on this next screen. Again, I mean, you look at them from 2021 to 2025, and they've made huge progress. I think part of that, if you look at their number of students that tested in 2021 versus the number of students who, they went from 80 to 136 students who were taking AP exams, and almost tripled their number of exams taken. So they obviously made a huge push on showing the importance and getting students to see the importance of taking those exams. So their results have skyrocketed. And then Cooper, similar trend as Abilene High. Total number of AP exams taken, and again, you look at 2021, and they have seen a steady increase since then in their test results. Just some highlights of our data from 2025. On the left side, you see the GLOWs, which are just some of our AP exams where we did really well on, and you see that we outperformed the state in each of those AP exams. And then on the right side are some that we're close or not so close on some of them, but those are some areas where we could really focus some attention and beat the state in a couple of those as well. Areas of growth for us. And then just some really highlighted improvements from 2024 to 2025 in AP biology. I can imagine how hard that, I never took it, but I can imagine how hard it is. You taught it? Okay. The enrollment from the 23-24 to the 24-25 school year in AP Biology doubled, and with that, we saw a 20% increase in the number of students making a 3 or higher for AP Biology, and then also in AP Language, which is it's the AP English 3 that our juniors take. The percentage of students that scored a 3 or higher increase from 38.1 to 66.4. So those were two areas where we saw huge gains. As far as professional development for our AP teachers, we know that the success of our students lies heavily on how prepared their teachers are and how much they put into teaching those courses. All of our AP teachers are GT certified, and also anytime we have a teacher that we're bringing on to teach a AP for the first time, that teacher is required to attend an AP Summer Institute. That's a very in-depth training where they receive very specific training from the College Board on the course, so they are prepared to go teach students. And then we also have teachers go every 3 years to get an update on their course, and or as needed. So we will get notification that, say, AP Psychology, they're changing the course and the requirements and the expectations for that. So even if that teacher had gone last summer to the AP Summer Institute, if they're changing the course, we would try to send them the following summer as well to get those updates. We also try to provide ample time for our AP teachers to collaborate and attend professional development with other AP teachers in the district. That we see that teachers really enjoy that. Most of the time we have one AP teacher for each subject at each campus, so they really appreciate the opportunity to collaborate with one another. And then, of course, we have colleges, our Region Center, and other institutions that will offer training for our AP teachers as well. As far as our student accolades, based on AP, there are 4 areas where students can earn an AP Scholar Award. The AP Scholar is when a student scores a 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. AP Scholar with Honor is whenever their average score is a 3.25 on all the exams they've taken, or higher on 4 or more, and a 3 or higher on 4 or more exams, excuse me. So an average of 3.25 and a 3 or higher on 4 or more exams. To add the distinction, it's an average of 3.5 and a 3 or higher on 5 exams. And then you heard a little bit about the AP Capstone Diploma from Mr. McGee earlier. That's when a student completes the AP Seminar and AP Research, scoring a 3 or higher on both of those, and a score of 3 or higher on 4 additional AP exams. So for students to earn these, they've worked incredibly hard, and they're very gifted.
That is extremely impressive.
Yes, it is. And then here's the numbers you can see that we have good representation from each of our high schools on students who are able to meet those criteria to be awarded as an AP Scholar. PSAT, this links back to what you, with the commended students that you heard about earlier, that is all based on the PSAT. We have all 3 of our high schools give a school day PSAT every October. Any 10th grader or 11th grader enrolled in an honors or AP course is automatically signed up for that test, and they take it for free. And then all of our 9th through 11th graders are also able to take that, to sign up to take it for a small fee. And from the PSAT, we have the National Recognition Program. These are different designations that students can earn based on their PSAT scores. It says a little bit in the first bullet under awardees must about AP exams. If you notice that it says AP exams in the 8th, 9th, or 10th grade, because we start giving an AP exam as 10th graders, they can't get a 3 or higher on 2 or more. So our students that meet the criteria for National Recognition Program, it is through the PSAT, their performance. They have to score in the top 10% of test takers in their high school, among first-generation college students in their state, and or among rural and small town students in their state. And these are our numbers for those students who received one of those recognitions: First Generation Award, School Recognition Award, then the small town. Adams gets to add that to their category.
Because of their enrollment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then I won't go over this much. These are the 3 students that you saw recognized earlier this evening for being National Merit Commended Scholars. And of course, we're very proud of all 3 of those students. So our priorities moving forward for our AP program are, one of the challenges we see is how AP and dual credit, they can kind of compete with each other, and we want to continue to try to maintain complementary pathways for college readiness and student choice by being able to offer both of those and let students and families decide which one is best for them. Equity and access, we want to ensure that all students can participate in advanced coursework, take out those barriers that may exist that may discourage them from taking AP courses. And then we want to make sure we have support systems in place to continue to support our students and our teachers. That includes opportunities like boot camps, prep sessions, and continuous preparation within our core classes for the SAT and the PSAT. One thing, I don't know that we highlighted it here or not in a previous meeting, but one thing we did just this year is our high schools collaborated with each other and with AEF, and they brought in a trainer from Mastery Prep, and they came here, we're in the Jefferson room, and they took the top from our 10th graders last year. Based on their PSAT scores, they took the top scores and invited them to a really cool day here that was a boot camp for PSAT. We brought in a trainer, provided them the materials, just something really cool we were able to provide students, and we're looking at ways that we can continue that with our own folks leading those trainings so our students can be more prepared for the PSAT. And then, of course, we want to make sure that students are being challenged and supported and ready for success in college and beyond. Does anybody have any questions about our AP program?
The decline in enrollment in AP classes, is that due to just our general decline in enrollment over the years?
I think part of it is that, and I also think part of it is dual credit as well. We offer a very nice buffet of options to our students, and we're kind of at a point where they're picking and choosing between those, and the more options we offer, there's the potential for some of those numbers to go down some. Yes, sir.
I know there's a fee associated to take the AP test. Do we help offset the cost for some of our economically disadvantaged students?
We do. We have, there's different fee levels. So if they're on qualify for free reduced lunch, then they have the lower test fees. Yes, sir. Other questions?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, move on to item 7B, Technology Department. Welcoming Ms. Carrie Owens, our Chief Technology Officer, to the podium.
Good evening.
Hello, Carrie.
A lot's going on in technology, and tonight I'm going to talk about some facts and figures that have to do with the different areas of technology. So if you don't like numbers, you're not going to like this either. There's mainly 3 different areas of technology. The technology services area. It takes care of all the services that you really can't see but have to be in place for everything to work, such as the internet and the wide area network, software deployments, and cybersecurity. Technology support takes care of the complete life cycle of a device, from the intake to the installation to all the repairs, and ultimately removing it at the end of its life cycle, such as Chromebooks and computers and panels and all the network cabling that's in the walls and the security cameras and door access. Beams and Programming is our main collector of data. They make sure that all of the state reports are submitted on time. They also take care of all the third-party data integrations with our softwares. And also they run the entire student information side of Frontline. As far as personnel, There are 4 in services, 17 in support, and 6 in PEMS and programming. Some facts for technology services. There are 293 network closets housing 688 switches. We have 25 physical servers hosting 150 virtual servers. We have 80 gigabits per second of fiber capability to our schools, meaning we have 2 pairs of fiber going from every facility to our NOCs. One pair going to the north NOC and another pair going to the south NOC, so that allows for a resilient network where failover does have to happen.
What's a NOC? I mean,
It's the Network
help us
Operations
remember that.
Center. Sorry, I should have spelled that out.
We have 2 of them, but we have a couple of new board members that where they're located.
Correct. There's one on the north side on North 6th Street, across the street from Abilene High, and then the other one is in the south side at Austin Elementary.
Okay.
And we also have about 2,500 wireless access points, about 2,500 staff ID badges were printed this last year. And we have over 2 million emails coming into our email server. That's after they pass through the first filter. And of that, still 25% of that is spam. Due to the increase in the number of security cameras, we've had to double the storage space for that security footage. As network switches become 12 and 15 years old, we have to replace those, and we have finished that at our high schools, and at some point over time, we'll be taking care of that at the middle school and elementary schools. We received a cybersecurity grant, which I'll talk more about here in just a few minutes. And in May, all of Technology Services that was housed at the North Network Operations Center is now also being housed at Jefferson Center on South 14th Street with the Technology Support Group. It's nice having everybody together because it helps with communication. We've made changes to our network environment. We have a new, We have a new firewall, and we have deployed CrowdStrike, which has also allowed us to enable logs and user identity protection. And for those that forget to encrypt an email when they send it with personal identification information in it, like social security numbers, we now have auto encryption in place that will keep that data from getting into the wrong hands. Cybersecurity is part of our services department, and anybody that has a district network account is required to complete cybersecurity training every year. And also, as an ongoing part of that training, is sending out simulated phishing attempt emails to ensure everyone is watching for scams and watching for those phishing emails, because it just takes one click on a real one to really put us in a bind. If you look at the chart there on the slide, you'll see that in the last 2 weeks, we sent out about 2,600 emails. About half of them were opened, and these are simulated phishing emails. Of those that were opened, 80 people clicked on the links in those simulated emails, 3 replied to that email, and 9 opened attachments on that simulated phishing email. But the good news is 850 people reported it as a phishing attempt. So we're getting better. In this 2-week simulated phishing campaign, we ended up being about a 3.5% phish prone. This goes between 10% and 3% every 2 weeks when these campaigns go out. But unfortunately, it only takes a click, and we've had 396 people click on a real phishing attempt. But luckily, we have supports in place for cybersecurity that protects those individual computers to keep it from spreading across the network. We also have student data privacy agreements in place with our vendors and entities. And to help with audits, we also have a paper trail, electronic paper trail in place anytime changes to rights take place for our software. Some facts about technology support. In 23-24, the Technology Support Department closed almost 8,000 technology support requests. 24-25, almost 10,000 technology support requests. And in 25-26, we're right on target to pass that 10,000 mark. A lot of that has to do with the additional devices that we have on our campuses now, so we have more devices to support. We have almost 2,000 video cameras, over 2,000 phones, 500 door contacts, our controls, and 1,700 printers, scanners, and copiers. And over 27,000 daily devices supported. That's our desktops, laptops, Chromebooks, iPads. Those are the devices that you touch. That's not including the devices that are on the ceiling and in the closets and the printers and the TVs and the Promethean panels and everything else that's supported. Those are just the actual touched devices, 27,000. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. One thing that's caused the growth of these devices is since August, we have put out almost 5,000 new Chromebooks and a new 175 Chromebook carts. And the goal is to ensure that every K-12 classroom has a Promethean cart available to them. With the help of Title I, so far we've been able to put a cart in every elementary and every middle school classroom, and we're currently working on building those carts for our high schools. In October, Microsoft stopped supporting Windows 10, so in the last few years, we've been working on upgrading any computer that was able to be upgraded to Windows 11 to upgrade those, and then working with our campuses and departments for any computer that could not be upgraded, whether to have it replaced or pulled from our network to help keep our network safe. Since 2022, our devices have increased 125%. So if you take the number of devices that we had in 2022, double it, and add 25% more, that's the number of devices we're now supporting. And that's the touch devices again, the Chromebooks, the iPads, the desktops, not the other devices. We've also moved our students over to a smart tag for a student ID so that they can use that ID for everything that they need to do during the day. That includes their transportation, their cafeteria, their library, and even our kindergarten and first graders are able to use their ID QR code that we've added to it to log onto their Chromebooks so that they don't have to remember a password. Upgraded security cameras, and to help with safety and security, we now allow our staff to sign themselves in and out of the campus so they don't have to bother the campus secretary, and so that any time during the day if the campus wants to know who's on campus, they're able to tell. Our PEIMS and programming facts, they submit 87 data reports to the state annually. They take care of 76 data integrations that sync nightly with our third-party softwares. They average 190 calls a week helping parents with Frontline. They average 320 calls or emails for support from our staff members and needing help with Frontline. And they receive over 400 data requests and special projects annually that are anything from a simple data file to a complex request pulling data from multiple data sources. They're lucky that they now only have to submit their data to the Texas Student Data System. Last year they had to submit to the old system and the new. There's still some bugs in the new system, but as the state fixes that, our software provider Frontline also makes their corrections, and it's gonna be a lot better next year. They also work daily with the campuses to fix data so that when they submit that data to the state that it is correct. They again work with those syncs, and then also they write programs to help meet the district's needs. One program they're currently working on is the scheduling of students that attend Hello High School to help make sure those students are in the sessions that most meet those students' wants and needs. E-Rate is an important program for the district. You can think of Category 1 as anything that's an external connection that connects us to the world. That's our internet and our wide area network that connects our facilities together. Category 2, you can think of as internal connections. Those are things inside our buildings that allow our devices to work with Category 1. And then our reimbursement percentage is based on our community eligibility percentage or household income survey data. Because student nutrition uses the CEP method, that's what we use for E-Rate, and that allows us to have a 90% reimbursement for all of our expenses with Category 1 and an 85% reimbursement for our Category 2. We received a cybersecurity pilot. We were one school district out of 540 school districts in the United States to receive this grant. And it's going to help us with our student account support through Google Education Plus. And also, it will help better educate on phishing and scam emails recognition by our staff. So what's next? Our internet provider on the North Knock expires in June of 2026. We'll be sending out an RFP to get that replaced. Our phone system is over 10 years old and can no longer be upgraded, therefore it needs to be replaced. As a fun fact, we've only had 3 phone systems ever in the district. The first one starting out as POTS lines, or plain old telephone service, moving to our first IP-based system of Cisco, which after it was over 10 years old and no longer able to be updated, we moved to NEC. NEC is now 10 years old and no longer able to be updated, and so it's something that needs to be replaced very soon. Our wireless access points will expire, the license will expire in 2027, so that they will need to be replaced. 85% of that cost will be taken care of through E-rate Category 2. All of the equipment that was purchased with ESSER funds, which is mainly in our classrooms, are now 3 and 4 years old. So a plan is going to have to be put in place of how to replace that equipment, or what type of long-term support is needed for that. We've been working with our virtualization environment. We've been moving it over to a new solution to help save the district some money. And also, as part of that cyber grant, we'll be utilizing the Google Education Plus to help secure our student accounts. I've covered a few facts in different areas of technology, and there's a lot going on, but hopefully those are some areas that might be of interest to you. Do you have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I really appreciate the help that when I used to come over to North 6th and now go over to South 14th, they never treat me like, why can't you get this worked out? And why can't you remember from one time to the next? They're very patient and nice to work with.
Thank you. I have a wonderful team. They really make everything work. Makes it an easy place to work.
Y'all perform miracles every day. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Let's now move on to item 8. No, we're going to now hear from Mr. Jay Ashby. He's on his way up going, what? He's going to help us understand resource campus designations. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. My voice is better now than it was earlier today, so I think I'm going to make it. It was a little touch and go earlier, but pardon the raspiness. So we're going to talk about something that is very new, hot off the press from the state. In fact, the webinar for administrators in the state was just a couple of weeks ago, where we heard a lot of details that you're going to hear tonight. So this is all very new information for everyone in the state, and it's called Resource Campus Designation. The Resource Campus Designation is a turnaround school model. It was actually established in House Bill 1525 in the 87th Texas legislative session, which was in 2021. So it's not that new, but it was updated in the 89th legislature. And in its first legislative iteration, no districts in Texas achieved Resource Campus Designation. So for the first 4 years of this bill, not a single district or school in the state met this criteria. We're going to talk about what that criteria is, but that's an important point, because in this session they have made some updates to take a very high bar and lower it just a little bit to make it more attainable. Still a high bar that we're going to talk about. But the big summary of what it is it provides additional district revenue to help sustain innovative practices over time. So, I've got a long list of resource campus eligibility criteria that I'm going to read off, and then on the next slide we have a nice little summary that's a little bit more visually appealing. But to read through some of these, you must, the campus, to be resource campus eligible, must have received 3 ratings of D, F, or not rated within the last 10 years. They must submit a TIP plan, and we have, many of our, I know you've heard many presentations about our TIP plans for our campuses that are designated of needing those. An ACE turnaround implementation, which we're going to talk more about. You have to have 50% of the teachers in foundation curriculum at a campus that are designated through the teacher incentive allotment. Additional day school year, otherwise known as AISD, and that is adding days to the school year, both regular school days and optional school days for families, and to choose whether they send their kid on those days. Family engagement plan and a positive behavior plan. Plan to implement high quality instructional materials. Staffing requirements. All campus teachers of record in foundation curriculum must have 2 years teaching experience. Principals and teachers must apply or reapply. 1 counselor per 300 students, which is a much higher ratio than what we currently have and most districts have. And 1 certified mental health professional assigned to the campus. As part of the resource campus eligibility, if you are designated, you must do an annual fidelity of implementation data submission to maintain that eligibility. So here's the prettier slide, kind of the big buckets when it comes to resource campus designation. ACE, which we're going to talk about more on the next slide, that is a turnaround model. TIA, which we've heard a lot about, in that 50% mark. Teachers having at least 2 years of experience. There is room for teacher apprentices or resident teachers to be employed on these campuses. It's every teacher of record must have at least 2 years of teaching experience at this campus. AISD, and here's a little bit more detail on that. The base number of days at a resource campus must be 175 days. So that is 175 days that are normal school days that everyone must attend. And then you must have a minimum of 6 additional days for a total of 181 days minimum for you to meet the threshold for resource campus designation. HQIM, which we, K through 8, have already checked that box at all of our campuses. And student support, we mentioned earlier as well in those ratios. So the ACE turnaround is one of the big hurdles to achieving resource campus designation. So there are 5 pillars. One of those is strategic staffing, so that includes some of the TIA systems that we and a lot of districts have, but also the applying and reapplying process to reconstitute the staff as part of a turnaround. Instructional excellence can mean a lot of different things, but it's a lot of instructional leadership models, coaching for new teachers, mentored teachers, PLCs, data-driven instruction, a lot of the things that we see in our campuses. You have to have a solid plan for that. A plan for social and emotional learning, extended learning, meaning after-school enrichment opportunities for students, as well as adding the days. It qualifies for extended learning as well. Parent and community partnerships are also one of the pillars for ACE turnaround. This data that I won't read through completely is provided as the evidence for why the state is incentivizing districts to go for these initiatives and these strategies. So there's some really good data that shows that ACE turnarounds have really been effective in getting failing campuses from the accountability standpoint to A and B. There's the AISD days have shown growth in student outcomes in a lot of different metrics. The teacher incentive allotment is allowing teachers to earn higher salaries for increased student learning, and the high quality instructional materials has some data there from the state on its value to teachers and to students. So what is the designation process, right? So this is not a grant. This is a process where a school district says to the state, we have met all of your criteria for resource campus designation, and we are applying to demonstrate that so that we can receive this designation. So this designation process is you must meet all of the criteria that I've mentioned so far before you apply. It's not a, we're gonna go do this if we get the funding. No, you have completed all of these requirements. We are demonstrating that, and we are applying to demonstrate that. So you have to meet everything before you apply. You submit a letter of intent to TA that we intend to apply for this designation at this specific campus. We will submit the designation application, which it's primarily narrative based, but you do have to upload some of the data to demonstrate certain things like staffing experience. And then TA will review those, do their due diligence, and then we will be notified and any campus would be notified of their designation acceptance or not. So how does the funding work? Campuses that become designated as resource campuses are eligible for the funding under the same mechanism of Senate Bill 1882. So it's the same funding mechanism. The funding requirements once you receive the funds are a little bit different because this would all come straight to the district and not funneled through the district to a partner. But the funding amounts are the same as 1882. The funding applies to districts with more than 5,000 students in ADA, which we qualify for that. The funding is a permanent annual increase in the FSP entitlements for all students enrolled at the campus each year moving forward as long as the campus continues to implement the resource campus program requirements. And typical allotments range from $900 to $1,000 per student per year. AISD's projected allotment is higher than this range. Next steps. So resource campus designation will be a strategy considered to sustain innovation in past and future school actions. Because this is so new, we are very early in the process of identifying where we might be able to achieve this currently and in the future. But potential future board action would be campus-specific AISD calendars that must be board approved to execute this strategy. I do anticipate that for those of you that are going to be at the November 20th special meeting where we will be discussing our annual school plan, that there will be some more details about how this might be one of our strategies moving forward at some of our campuses. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I do want to thank you for diving into these complicated opportunities that TEA has made available and just wading through all the different criteria.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, yes.
I said thank you. It's a lot of information, but a great process to be going down, I think. Thank you.
Thanks.
Now let's move on to item 8, business items requiring board action. Item 8A is Board of Directors of the Jones County Appraisal District. Welcome Jennifer Hines, our Chief Financial Officer, to the podium.
Good evening. So this is just the continuation of something we started last month. Last month, you may remember, we nominated for the Jones County Appraisal District Board. Mr. Jim Bailey was nominated at the October 6th meeting. So this is the final step to the process for this time around. And it's assigning our voting entitlement, and that has to be done by December 12th. Our entitlement in Jones County is 243 votes. So it's pretty simple, cut and dry. The recommendation is to assign our 243 votes to our nominated candidate, Mr. Jim Bailey, for a 2-year term on the Jones County Appraisal District Board. Any questions?
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a motion regarding the Board of Directors of the Jones County Appraisal District?
I move to approve the assignment of 243 votes to Mr. Jim Bailey for service on the Central Appraisal District of Jones County for a 2-year term beginning on January 1st, 2026.
Motion made by Taylor, Tidmore, and seconded by Danny Wheat. We'll now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Blair Schrader, absent. Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. We'll now move on to item 9, items covered during closed session. Is there a motion regarding the security interlocal agreement?
I move to approve the security interlocal agreement as presented in closed session.
Thank you. Rodney Goodman. A
Second.
For Billy. We'll now take a roll call vote. Taylor Tidmore.
Yes.
Cindy Earls.
Yes.
Angie Wiley. Yes. Rodney Goodman.
Yes.
Bill Enriquez.
Yes.
Danny Wheat. Blair Schrader, absent. The vote passes. Motion passes 6-0. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 8:19.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much.